God damn it.
It's time for Blumpkin&Friends, starring your host, the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin.
Hey kids, I'm the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin, and this is a monumentous event. Because after a lot of arguing and bitching and twisting his arm, and I didn't even have to use any roofies, I give to you, my friend...
Rick James.
Rick fucking James! Ah! You have no idea. If I could get a boner for this, I would have a boner. I should probably be at like half-mast.
Yeah, but I still kind of feel like the girl that was trying to, hold off, telling you no forever, shooting you down, and then I just gave it up without even like a frickin' McChicken sandwich or,
Well, I guess you just got McDate raped. I have said this, or at least hinted at it. Of all the conversations I've had on this show, of all the laughs, of all the dirty, disgusting shit we've talked about, of all the wrong jokes we've made, the best of my worst, meaning the most risque shit, comes out of my mouth when I'm sitting with this man talking about stuff.
Oh, so I'm your muse then.
You were the Robin to my Batman before you became your own Nightwing.
Well, yeah, that happens when you get a lot, especially with me too. The more I talk to you, then the more the crazy shit flies all over the walls. And
well, we met working together at Menards back in 2006. So now it's been 12 years.
Damn, that long.
Yeah. And I just want to flash back to something you said to me once that was hilarious and made my heart grow twice its size. You said, I never used to be this much of a bastard until I started hanging out with you. Like, my sense of humor got way worse, and I got way meaner once I started hanging out with you.
Oh, absolutely. You're a horrible person, a horrible influence.
It's kind of like that in The Simpsons where all the grades, they show the graph of the grades around Bart Simpson, and he's like a black hole. He's got an F, and every ring of desks away from him, it goes from D to C to B to A. Like from Bart in the middle with the F to Martin Prince in the corner with the A. Kiss ass. It's excellent time. Menards days, those were days.
Oh. Yeah, too much stuff. Don't remember a lot of it, though.
Because of?
I don't know. Because of pain, misery, and alcohol.
Mostly alcohol.
Yeah, alcohol.
I'll throw out some stuff at you, and hopefully it'll jog your memory.
Mm-hmm.
I was invited over to a mutual friend's apartment to hang out one time. And this is when I was brand new at the store. I was trying to make friends. And Wugger had me over. And I'm sitting there, and I had just eaten a bowl of cereal. And Wugger offers me a beer. I'm like, no, I just had cereal. He's like, so what, like you're too full? I'm like, no, I don't think I should mix beer and milk. Sounds like I'm going to have a horrible case of diarrhea later. Which got kind of a laugh. But there's this guy sitting in the corner at the kitchen table with a ponytail and glasses, and he's really not saying much. He's just very quiet, and I'm just like, who the fuck is this guy? And that was you.
No idea.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Nobody else had a ponytail that night. There were two girls there even.
Yeah. How intoxicated was I?
I don't know. Not very. Because you kind of started talking, but you even self-admittedly told me, when I first met you, I didn't like you.
Yeah, well, that's still partially true.
Oh. Take that self-esteem.
Now, was this before or after my DWI?
After?
Oh, well, then I was probably bombed because I drank. Well, you can't drive anywhere and you're hanging out with the Wugger and
yeah.
That's
no, he was in jail at the time.
Oh, well.
That should tell you something about this group of people. You're like, was this before or after my DUI? And then you name dropped a former roommate of the Wugger who was in jail at the time.
Save big money at Menards. It's good service, the kind of service you're going to get there.
It is. It is. So then we started hanging out more at after-work events and stuff like that, and then we got to be friends. But when we really got to be good friends is during Christmas setup. because as the first assistant manager of the hardware department, it was on me to oversee all this. So they farmed in a bunch of people from other departments, and Ricky came from the yard.
See, now I thought we were already friends before that because I thought you specifically came up to me and said you should sign up for this.
I did. But when things went from that friend to that bromance level, we took it to that next level. We took the next step in our relationship, they would say.
Yeah, we fucked around a lot.
Oh, my God. I don't know if you remember this, but the birth of the E! True Hollywood story of Cobra Commander was during that Christmas setup. Anybody that remembers E! True Hollywood stories, they're very in-depth. They give you some insight into the parts of a famous person's life you never knew about. And I came up with an idea for one based around Cobra Commander. It was basically all fan fiction.
We had a lot of time to screw off, didn't we?
Oh, my God, yes.
Well, because they made us work 10-hour days, Monday through Friday. And, yeah, we had to work a lot of them. But, yeah, we also had a lot of fuck-off time.
Yeah.
I think I remember that, too. That was the only day that I ever wore a collared shirt, like the first day I came in there, because this was the first day I'd ever worked inside the store. Yeah. And that was way out of character for me. Everybody was like, you just look uncomfortable. It doesn't look right. Go back to wearing your
yard t-shirt.
Yeah, your crappy hole in the nipple t-shirt.
I'm glad you brought it. I was about to mention it. He had a fucking Menards work shirt. And he would not stop wearing it. And he had a hole in the front over his nipple. And it was always like peekaboo time. It was classy.
Yeah, I'm a classy broad like that.
It's like, hey, I won't quite show you like an inch of neck. I won't sag the front of my pants enough to give you a little preview of what's going on. But, hey, he is part of a man titty.
Hey, if it was anything more of a boob, I probably would have not been able to wear it to work. But it kind of like hid back and forth, so it worked. That's why I got to wear it for so long.
You should have just cut the neck downward, like made like a bigger V-neck, just to get a little like sternum cleavage. That would have been saucy.
Yeah, well, I had questionable attire when I worked there, and that's one of the reasons why I got fired.
Maybe.
Well, yeah. Well, it came up when my last week when I was there. But yeah, the setup was a lot of screwing off. Yeah, we did
Christmas trees and setting up aisles for ornaments and stupid shit. And then at the tail end of it, when the whole first wave of it was over, his boss in the yard kept farming him out to me because I had payroll to kill. And I'm like, well, sure, I'll hang out and screw off with my friend all day. That's awesome. So up in the mezzanine, and the mezzanine is upstairs, and it's out of view and surrounded by multiple walls, and there's products stored up there. And we would keep leftover holiday and seasonal merchandise, like patio furniture remnants, and also leftover decorations from other holidays.
Of course.
Which led to my inventing a new game called Ghost Bowling. Halloween plastic blow molds, those light up ones you just plug in, and it's like a big piece of plastic with a light bulb inside. I set up either 6 or 10 of those ghosts, and they were not small. They were the size of like a first grader. And we set them up, and then we had a basketball. I'm like, we should bowl these fuckers, because we were on a bowling team.
Very good.
Of all Menards people. What the fuck was the name of our team? I can't remember. Before we were on the team, when it was and Scotty and them, it was, I think, Tequila Sunrise. But we changed it. I know we did, because it was more inappropriate. No. We weren't as cool as the disappearing and reappearing Johnsons.
Yeah.
That was good. Leave it to us to go to a bowling league and inadvertently end up with enemies. We had adversaries in a bowling league of 6 teams. They fucking hated us, me especially, because I would celebrate loudly. Every time I'd get a strike, I'd go, Pyah! And then I'd get a spare, I'd go, gotcha, bitch!
See, if only we would have turned our lives at the time into a sitcom, that would have been one episode right there.
A rivalry.
A rivalry bowling episode.
At Blainbrook, of all places. I just specifically remember one of the guys going, as I was celebrating, he's like, God, I hate that guy so much. And then after the season was over, they were biased, and we started talking like, why don't we get along? Why does it feel like we're enemies and we should all be friends? And then we shared some beers, and everything was good.
So it's kind of like me and you then.
Well, this was different. They legitimately hated me. You were just like, hey, he's talking to a girl I like. That was the root of the initial conflict, is that you liked a girl, and this girl liked me, and I was just like a free agent. So I'm like, whatever. I'm entertaining offers. But then eventually that didn't matter. Because I'm hilarious. Are you a hopelessly lonely woman in your late 30s to 40s with virtually nothing left to live for? Do you yearn for a smaller, needier version of yourself to give your pathetic existence meaning? Has the city you live in given you no fewer than 3 written notices about the smell of your domicile due to an army of cats that you call your children? Then let me help you make a baby that you're emotionally ill-prepared to care for and too financially irresponsible to provide for. I'm retired Army Sergeant Solomon Spackle, and I run a private family planning clinic out of a storage space on the east side of St. Paul. I have dozens of vials of sperm from guys I know from my military PTSD support group. They've been rigorously tested with my Bill Nye the Science Guy beaker set for quality control and then frozen inside of a cooler of an old ice cream truck for safekeeping. How did I obtain these samples, you ask? Through hard work and determination. And perhaps a handful of Rohypnol crushed up and put into a pitcher of beer at a small get-together last May. The details are not important, but the quality is guaranteed or your money back. Sergeant Spackle's Family Planning Clinic. Let me help you become a mommy. Call me today at 1-900-289-5499. That is 1-900-BUY-JIZZ. Money back guarantee will not be honored under any circumstances whatsoever.
You're listening to Blumpkin and Friends.
Did you know that I played with a boob up in the mez once?
Oh.
I'm not going to name names, but she...
Was it Bob?
It was not Bobby Murderface. No. So, I talked this chick into going up in the mez with me, and I had known her from my previous store, and we had interacted, wink wink, in the past outside of work. I impregnated her throat.
Up in the mez?
No, at my parents' house.
Okay.
On their couch. God damn you! And so she comes to our store, and I had already accidentally kind of let the cat out of the bag about her reputation. So I don't know why, but we were up there, and she was letting me feel on her tit. Just one tit. I don't know why. And then she goes to kiss me, and I'm like, hang on. Because she was wearing lip gloss. And I knew if she got it on me, it would be a dead giveaway that I had been upstairs French kissing a girl. So
because that's never happened on the clock before at Menards.
Well, we can get into that one in a minute. I know what you're talking about. So I'm like, hang on a minute. And I go to pull a Kleenex out of my pocket, and then she apparently thought that I was protesting to her kissing me, and then she got upset, and then it was over. I tried to talk her back into it, but at that point, it was too late. She said there was no way. What you're referring to, I think, is Badger Man back in Cabinets and Appliances, who had some chick come over from my previous store and work in his department. And one night, they were caught on camera making out, and then she had her hand down his pants giving him a handy J. Make me feel good. Memories.
Yeah.
Memories are made.
When you were watching the camera, that's the one you were always hoping for.
I'm going to rake you over the coals here for a second. I don't know how much of this you remember, but there was a time when I came in on my day off to say hi to some people and see what Rick was up to. Because for some reason, he had gone into work on his day off. To work. Not just to hang out with his buddies. So I find out that he's in one of the outside yard loading bays, and he's sitting there on a forklift, which is not uncommon because you drove a forklift. You were a yard receiving manager. But your yard manager was parked on an opposing forklift, and it was almost like a Mexican standoff. And the setup is that he wanted you to go home because you weren't just hungover. You were still drunk from the night before.
Okay, you're drunk. Give me your keys.
You had been raging into the wee hours of the morning.
I had to close that night, so I, showed up to work at noon. Well, that's what we always did, the noon to 10 shift. And yeah, they kicked me out.
Well, you didn't go willingly, though.
No, because I didn't think I was that drunk.
And I'm sitting here, I'm trying to advocate for you playing it safe. I'm like, can you just picture you accidentally, drunkenly putting a fork tine through a child or a vehicle or a window and the shitstorm that's going to ensue? I'm like, come on, you know you're kind of lit up. You know you're a little too drunk to be here. You had a good time last night, maybe too much of a good time. And then he does this. He just sits back. He's like, yeah, I don't know. And he kind of chuckles, and then he pulls out these Oakleys, and then he puts them on, and he just kind of looks at me and gives me the nod like, yeah. Drunkenly smiles like a Cheshire cat.
Yeah, I don't think I was that bad.
I don't know. It wasn't like Jim Leahy. You weren't at a full 10.
Well, I know what the problem was. It probably wasn't the drinking that I did until 8 that morning. It was the drink that I had before I came in when I woke up at 11:45 for my 12 o'clock shift.
Oh.
But
Screwdriver?
No, it was apple pie.
Oh.
It was a full.
Jesus. He just showed me what is the equivalent to almost a 40-ouncer of worth of apple pie.
It was like that cup right there, and I woke up and I like, shit, I gotta go to work. And I had a full glass and I don't even know why. I just instinctively chugged it and then hopped in my car and left. But I did show up back to work later that day, and the store manager, who also had a history of, that kind of activity, he came out and he had a nice talking to. That was a little awkward.
Oh. Didn't he basically say, if you ever do this again, I'll throw you out in your ass?
Pretty much, but he was also talking to me too, straight up about, or just about what you got a problem? Why would you think that's okay? And that kind of crap. But it was all cool.
So he tried to have an intervention.
It had a happy ending.
Go on.
Yeah.
Who jerked who
right
off?
out in the garden center.
Oh.
Right behind the mulch.
I feel like you're expecting me to add to that. I don't
No,
I have more insight.
That's where the conversation occurred.
Oh, okay. Well, you said happy ending, so that maybe
Oh, well, Jesus Christ, man. Get your mind out of the gutter.
No. You're a saucy, slutty girl.
Yeah, that's why I wear the nipple shirt.
You weren't there the time that Bobby Murderface bounced the Big Joe off a floor beam and then smashed into an entire wooden crate of mirrors.
No, that sounds kind of bad.
In the back aisle of the store, picture it now. You're driving from receiving into building materials there, back by the door, back by the infamous loading bay where you were, getting coached to get off your forklift and give up your keys. And Bob's driving the Joe, which is a platform, like a mobile platform, and he's coming at us and he's got like 2 washing machines on it. And I wave at him. He's like, hey, what's up? And all of a sudden, he takes a fucking sharp 75-degree turn into a beam and bounces off of it, and then goes at a 60-degree angle the opposite direction into a large 4x4 foot crate of mirrors. It's just like, bing, boom! He's fucking ping-pongs right off this beam, and he's going as fast as the Joe will go. Like, you're not supposed to drive that fast in the store, so it easily goes, 15 to 20 miles an hour?
Yeah, I'd say, yeah.
And then he comes to rest and he backs it up, and I'm like, what happened? He's like, I don't know. And then he just drives off. He drives off, and I'm laughing my ass off because I didn't expect that. And then I call the store manager. I'm like, hey, can you meet me up by the security office door here? Oh, okay, sure. And we go up there. I'm like, I don't want to tell you what just happened. Everyone's okay and nothing got damaged. But I need you to go inside and we need to watch a tape. And I'm like, here's the camera. Cue up the footage. And just, I want to see your reaction. So he's watching. He's like, what the fuck? And I'm laughing. He's like, really? I'm like, that shit's pretty funny. I did not expect it. And I'm like, okay, here's what I want you to do. Play it again. And I'm like, can I see it one more time? He's like, really? Okay. I'm like, okay, now here's what I want you to do now. I want you to play it, and do we have the ability to slow the tape down? Can we watch it in slow-mo? He's like, yeah, I think we can do that. And we watch Bob have an industrial accident in slow motion, and it's even funnier. Like, imagine watching car crash videos at half the speed or less. And that was Bob. And then I don't know. And then he just drives off. to the delivery loading bay.
Well, yeah, you panic when you get in an accident. I've had several forklift accidents there at Menards. And
Do tell.
the worst one was when I slid the forklift into the concrete the wall in the sheetrock bay.
How the fuck did you do that?
It was in January, so it was slippery as all hell. There's just water and ice all over inside the sheetrock bay, and I was going in to park my forklift. Actually, I was going to a WWE Raw house show on a Friday night, and
That's all you could think about.
Well, yeah, I was so excited to go. It was like 5 o'clock. I was ready to park my forklift and tell the guys inside I was leaving, and I whipped a shitty and I slid right into the wall. I made a huge. That was a pretty expensive fix. I think they wanted to take my forklift license away for a year or something from it, but it only ended up being like a month.
You slipped on ice.
Well, but since I was whipping my forklift around, parking it, that's why. And I hit door 15, door 17, the receiving door.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so maybe not too bad. The problem is all 4 of those were like in a 5-month span.
I was having a bad run. I couldn't save myself from myself. But, it's not like you haven't had accidents in larger vehicles.
No.
Let's talk about the DUI. Come on.
I don't remember it.
I have to tell your story of your DUI as you've told it to me?
Yeah, well, I've drank a lot over the years.
The only part that's worth telling is that you somehow lost control of your S10?
No, it was an F-150.
Okay. And you rolled it in the center ditch or the side ditch?
Center ditch, in the median.
And this was in Sherburne County. So you're upside down, and you're like, well, fuck, I got to get out of here, obviously. And you were fucking with your seatbelt.
No, it's very hard to get out of a seatbelt when you're upside down in a vehicle. And you're drunk. And you hit the button, and the seatbelt let go, and you fell and smashed your head on the roof of the fucking upside-down truck. Probably compressed one of your... And then you crawled out through the window, which was it the back window into the bed area? Or was it was the driver's side door.
Was it smashed out, obviously?
I think the truck was tilted over on the passenger side, so it was able to pop it open a lot easier.
Okay. So you get out, and you're sitting there in the ditch, and somebody had called the cops.
Well, no, the cops showed up right as I crawled out of my truck.
Yeah, somebody had called for the authorities.
Yeah. Well, there's an upside down vehicle in the middle of the road on Highway 10. It wasn't hard to spot.
Right. According to how you've told it to me, the cops showed up and asked you what happened, and you said, "Do you remember what you said?"
I believe I said something like, "Oh, I was a fucking idiot and decided to drive home," or something like that.
What you told me is, I was a dumbass and I drove drunk and flipped my truck.
Well,
Take me to jail.
Yeah, well, that's basically what happened.
How was that trip to jail?
It wasn't too bad. The only thing that I thought was funny was when they put me into the holding cell, there was a guy sleeping on the bench looking at the wall, so I couldn't see him. And the cop said, "So where did you live again?" And I said, something, I think it was Circle Drive in Blaine or something. And then the guy lifted his head up. "You live on Circle Drive?" "Yep." "Where?" I live in Blaine." He's like, "Oh, I live in Brooklyn Park." And then he just laid his head back down, and I didn't talk to him again.
Oh, both of those start with a B. We should probably get like an apartment together, be like the Odd Couple.
Yeah, it wasn't anything. Then, of course, my buddy came and picked me up that night, so it wasn't so bad.
You kind of have a history with vehicles.
I've been good since.
Your own. You were driving behind JC when he got T-boned on your way to go see Avengers Age of Ultron.
No, it was Batman vs. Superman.
Oh. That's your own fault for going to see that movie. That was life trying to send you
That was life
aside.
telling us, don't go. So, yeah, got T-boned right in front of me when I was following him over to the movie theater.
Because every time that I ride with you now, I get nervous. Ever since the night the escort died on the way to the Ring of Honor show.
Well, see, how was that my fault?
First, it was that the escort died on the way to Ring of Honor, going up a hill to a bridge, and all of a sudden I hear tick, 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 and then I get no fucking gas. The car ain't moving any forward. And then I instinctively pull over right there at the highest point of the bridge, but not to the point where we'd start going down if we coasted. And then I get out and the fucking car won't go. And then I have you start trying to turn it over. And then I start trying to push it, which is an incredible calf workout. If you ever want to blast your calves, just go push a car through a parking lot while somebody steers it.
Didn't you push me over the hill? Wasn't I in the driver's... Wasn't I behind the wheel and you pushed it over the hill and then picked up speed going down and then you're sprinting, chasing?
I was sprinting after the... So think about what this has to look like for everyone else. And I think I've told this story before on the air. Is that a cop was behind us. And he was just going to drive behind us to make sure that we got it to the next stoplight and off the road. And I'm pushing the car. And then I let go. And you're driving. And I'm jogging behind a car down a hill. And a cop is behind me. And passersby, he'd be like, what the fuck is going on? So then I jog up to the passenger door, and I was going to try to dive in the fucking car, which I couldn't get the right angle. I was afraid I was going to get, slip and fall into the tire and die. That'd be terrible. Killed by my own car. What am I, Anton Yelchin now? He played Scotty in the new Star Trek. Yeah. Squashed by his own Jeep. And then we get to the bottom of the hill, and it won't go any further, so we have to push even more to get it another block down the road by Culver's, around a corner, and leave it in the parking lot of Diversified. And then my dad, my elderly father, had to come pick up his adult son and his adult son's friend to drive us back to my house to get my other car so we could go to a wrestling show. This is grown-up stuff. This is adulting at its best. Yep. Dad, can you come pick me up? Why? My car broke down. I need you to scoop up me and Rick James, drive us back to the house so we can get in the other car, and make it in time for first bell, which we did. The other instance with my car is at your house, and I did an entire episode of the podcast about this, is the night that your brother left and then backed into my Fusion. Ah, goddamn, that was such a pain in the ass. Sitting in your living room watching, I don't know what, probably hockey.
Probably a hockey game.
And then you look out the window, and you're like, I think my brother just hit your car. I'm like, whatever. You're like, no, for real. I'm like, he fucking better not have. Before I can even get off the couch, here's Joey. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I'm real sorry. I backed into your car. I don't think I did. I think I hit it too bad. Of course, I didn't have a fucking car for a week and a half, and I had to use a piece of shit Nissan rental. So now every time we get in a vehicle to go somewhere, a concert, a game, a wrestling show. Just like, well, when are we going to experience the next chapter in our illustrious adventures in cars breaking down or things happen to my vehicles when you're there?
It's time for another good idea, bad idea with Jesse the Body. Good idea, taking old books and donating them to the local library or book exchange. Bad idea, giving a bunch of old issues of Hustler to the kids who play baseball at the park next to my house. You gotta learn somehow. Good idea. Gathering around the fire to drink some cocoa with a loved one. Bad idea. Gathering around some candles that are positioned neatly at the 5 points of a hand-drawn pentagram on the floor in hopes of summoning our Dark Lord and Master.
You're listening to Blumpkin and Friends.
This was at the old Circle Pines house, and I don't know why you were so mad, but you were drunk, and I'm sorry, everyone's going to think you're a massive alcoholic. You're not like a dangerous drunk. He's a fun drunk. He drinks for fun, not to excess, just because you're not an alcoholic. You like to tie one off. Well, you don't sit there during the day and go, man, I wish I was at home drinking.
Oh, no, yeah, I'm not like that.
And you're not hiding beers in the work truck so you can have one on your lunch break.
Not anymore.
So it's nighttime, it's dark, there's a fire, there's patio chairs, we're standing out in the road, and you're upset. And you had already been like throwing plastic deck chairs around in a fit of drunken rage about I don't know what. I think it was about a girl. And you walk up to me and I'm like, uh-oh. And I'm like, dude, are you okay? And I'm going to do my impression of you. You're like, am I okay? Do I look like I'm okay? The problem is that people are just always messing with me. And they need to learn that they need to stop poking a bear with a stick. And I don't know what the hell you meant by that, but as soon as you said that and you kept breathing heavily through your nose, I seriously braced myself. I'm like, well, I think he's going to punch me in the face. I don't know why. I had done nothing to inspire any of this anger. I'm like, here's where I get punched. And then I closed my eyes and just waited for it to happen. And then you walked away. I'm like, wow, that was a much less dangerous resolution. I'm glad I didn't get my teeth knocked out. And then you went back to throwing patio chairs, and then you set up a chair and sat by the fire, just pouting and poking it with a stick.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's a hilarious story.
Well, I guess as long as I don't hurt anybody and end up in jail or anything.
Or with a bare chest covered in tuna.
Well, I mean, usually when I was drunk, I wasn't wearing a shirt.
You are a party animal.
I do remember that happened a few times when I'd wake up, even in the fall when it was pretty chilly out. You wake up in the morning outside on the couch.
No shirt on?
Yeah, because we had the couch, with the wheels on that we always pulled outside in the front yard.
As opposed to when you lived at Blaine Manor and were neighbors with Wugger, and one time you were drunk and you started eating a can of tuna out of the can. You just ate the tuna out of the can with your fingers. And then you're like spilling it down your chest. You're like,
Sometimes I sound like more beast than man.
Beast man? You orange furry fool! Get out of my face. I'm plotting my next attempt to take down He-Man.
I'm glad that you don't see me that much anymore now just because of you telling me these stories from a long time ago. And similar stories just like this just happened a couple weeks ago when we went to our cabin trip up north, me and my friends. So
Did you also throw up half-digested tuna on the carpet there?
No, I don't do that anymore.
Drunk, just like the David Hasselhoff drunken cheeseburger video. You sitting in a pair of jean shorts with no shirt trying to clean up your own puke out of the carpet of your apartment the same night as the tuna thing because you puked the tuna up.
God, no wonders why I don't ever want to come on this show.
And you're blotting paper towels like... It wasn't like, there you go. He's a good guy.
Is this your revenge for me not being on here? You're just going to pick on me with these terrible stories?
That's the thing, is that I never got drunk. And I'd have like a few and always be completely cognizant of what's going on. It's not like I didn't partake in my own alcohol-fueled debauchery to an extent. I mean, have you ever had sex in one of your friends' beds?
Oh, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Because I did it. Dr. Duck's bed up in the attic at the Circle Pines house.
No, not you talking back. Yeah, you did that. I thought was that Scotty's bed or no? That was
Dr. Duck.
Mm.
That was the first time I ever pooned her. Took her up to the attic, did a little smooch, and told her I wanted to do her right there. She's like, "Don't you think it's too soon?" I'm like, I'm not thinking about that. I'm just thinking about that I'm having a good time, and I'm glad you're here, and I want this. It was a pretty good sales pitch because I sealed the deal. And then as I'm doing her, a door opened at the bottom of the stairs to that attic bedroom, and somebody took 2 steps and kind of listened and then left. And I don't know if it was him, the guy whose bed I was banging in, or if it was somebody else that wondered where we went. It almost spoiled the mood. I did not get to finish. It wasn't like Quagmire. It's like, wow, thanks. You just bothered me 30 more seconds.
That was a pretty wild house. And yeah, you were there for a fair amount of those, weren't you?
Yeah. I mean, you never like punched holes in walls or started fights with people.
No. I think more of that was at the following house, the one in Blaine. I don't think you were there quite as much.
Yeah, I was there. I just would like to point out, while I'm bragging, that I did the same chick that I nailed in Dr. Duck's bed. I also took her to the house on that picnic table in the backyard.
Right in the neighborhood so all the families could see.
There was a fence.
Mm.
And she was on her period at the time. It was a magical evening underneath the stars. Parting the Red Sea outside. And it was like extra sexy because I'm like, we'd get caught at any second. I didn't say that to her because she might have gotten scared and wanted to stop. But hey, man's got to eat.
Yeah, that's true.
You're listening to Blumpkin and Friends.
We've reached the point in the show where it's time to play a game. I invented a game. It's very simple. It's called Bullshit Trivia. It's 10 questions. Sometimes there's real answers, sometimes there's not. Sometimes I'll just give you points for creativity. I think you're going to do well.
All right, let's go.
It's time to play bullshit trivia on Blumpkin and Friends. Number 1. Name 3 Street Fighter characters.
Baraka.
What? No.
Street Fighter?
Street Fighter.
No, oh yeah, I can't even do it because it's what is his name? Blanca.
Okay, yeah. That's 1. Baraka's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that's why I gotta make. Yeah, the names are close, but the one's green and one's white. Or
nobody else from Street Fighter?
Ryu and Ken.
Okay. Okay, I thought you were gonna have another repeat like when you were at the state fair.
That was Common Man trivia, and I did choke a big one on that.
You got 3. That's worth a point. I'm gonna make a check mark.
That's sad. I can't really think of any other ones.
No.
I can picture them all, but not.
Guile, Dalzim, Zangief, Sagat, M. Bison, Balrog, Chun-Li, Vega.
Sound like made up.
Well, they are made up.
Yeah, okay.
These aren't like real people.
Oh, so it wasn't based on a true story?
No.
Oh.
I mean, some of them were based on real characters, kind of. I doubt there's a real M. Bison. Because, Raul Julia died.
Oh, bitch.
Number 2, true or false?
False.
It was true. I like that one because people always wait for me to finish. And then it's like, no, there's no more. Number 3, Ozzie Smith played what position?
Shortstop.
Correct. You were doing fairly decent. You're 2 out of 3. Number 4, Van Halen or Van Hagar?
Oh, Van Halen. Who'd pick Van Hagar?
A guy I work with. He's an asshole. That's correct. Underlining Van Halen. Number 5, bananas are...
Yellow.
I'll take that because that's a fact. Just anything you say about bananas. Number 6, what state is the beehive state?
Alberta.
That's a Canadian province. So, no. It was Utah. I like that you said Alberta, though. That was good. Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Who says that? Lance Storm. That's not one of the questions. Katy Perry. Would you?
Yeah, but I'm not a fan of her new haircut.
No?
No.
I'd like to think that I would too, but then I don't want to think about how I'd be tasting Orlando Bloom or John Mayer or Russell, what's his name?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
God damn
The
it.
goofy British guy.
Yeah, Russell. Fuck him. Anyway.
She's slept with some dirty men.
She has. That's why I almost would only titty fuck her.
Mm.
And they're pretty big, so you oil them up. It's like a kind of a plump vagina. Very plump. Number 8. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
I have no fucking idea how that's part of the. It takes a while to figure that out.
You just got to name a place.
Isn't no fucking idea? I don't know. The Pacific Ocean. She drowned. She didn't make it to San Diego.
That would be a fitting end for a criminal. She's actually in Napa Valley. She's wine tasting. Sorry, can't give you that one. Number 9. Who was the man of 1,000 holds?
Dean Malenko.
Yeah, correct. Putting a check mark on there. You're doing pretty good. You're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You've already tied the record. So if you get this last one, you'll be the new record holder. It's a pretty big honor. I'll even write your name up on the wall. See, look, BS Trivia. It's on the wall.
Oh, I can't turn my head because I'll mess up my hair.
Don't do that. Number 10. Boxers or briefs?
Commando.
Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, you could put your hand down over... Oh, maybe not. Okay.
You could feel for yourself. He says commando. I'm going to give you a half point. That still makes you the current record holder.
That's pretty sweet.
At 6.5. High five. Good job. Interact with the show on Twitter at Blumpkin Show. That is at Blumpkin Show. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/Blumpkin&Friends. I'm the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin.
Senior Rick James.
Good night.